Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel, and today I'm here for an album ranking, and it's going to be for Lamb of God. I've pretty much talked about ranking their albums before, but I never actually got around to it until now. So guys, I just want y'all to know that I will not be ranking any Burn the Priest albums underneath Lamb of God's former band name, because they used to be called Burn the Priest before they changed their name to Lamb of God. So I just wanted you guys to know that these albums are not going to be underneath this ranking. Not the Burn the Priest album from the late 90s, and definitely not the Burn the Priest covers album that they released a few years or so ago. Only the Lamb of God studio albums. So yeah, with that being said though, let's go and get started. Okay, so kicking off my ranking for Lamb of God at number 8 is going to be their 2009 album Wrath. Now, I do not think Wrath is a bad album whatsoever. I think it's pretty good, but I don't think it's as good as the rest of their stuff. But I still thought it was a solid outing for what it is. So yeah, you got songs like In Your Words, Set to Fail, Contractor, Fake Messiah, Everything to Nothing, Reclamation, and some other songs. But even with that being said though, I still think Wrath was a solid album from Lamb of God, but it's easily my least favorite Lamb of God album though, so I'll just say that. The riffs and stuff are great, but I just wasn't much of a fan of the songs overall, but I still did think the album was pretty solid for what it was. So yeah, number 8 is going to be their album Wrath from 2009. Number 7 is going to be the album New American Gospel, and yeah, I know this one might be very controversial to have their first album underneath the Lamb of God moniker as one of my least favorites, but I just wasn't the biggest fan of the vocals on this album. I think the riffs were fine for what they were back then, but I just wasn't much of a fan of Randy Blythe's vocals or even the production of the songs on this whole album. But the songs themselves are fine, but the production is just what throws me off guard compared to the other 6 that I have left to rank still. But don't get me wrong, this album was still good though, but it just has a few flaws for me. But I do like the songs Black Label, Letter to the Unborn, The Black Dahlia, The Subtle Arts of Murder and Persuasion, and the song Pariah, which Pariah is maybe my favorite song on the album, so I can finally go ahead and move this paper now. So yeah, number 7, their 2000 album, New American Gospel. Very controversial, but remember, it is just my opinion. Now, the remainder of the albums I have on CD. So number 6 is going to be 7, Sturm on Drang. I know many people would have this near the bottom at like number 8 or 7, or maybe where I'm having it at, I don't know, but I have it in at number 6 in my ranking because yes, I think it is better than Wrath and New American Gospel, but not just much better, but it is a better album for me though. Got songs like Still Echoes, 512, Embers, which features the lead vocalist of Deftones, so definitely an awesome song between Lamb of God and Chino from Deftones. Overlord. Now, Overlord has a lot of clean vocals from Randy Blythe, Lamb of God's lead vocalist, which his clean vocals, when he does cleans and Lamb of God songs, just reminds me of Chad Gray from Mudvayne in the band Hell Yeah. That's just how I feel about Randy Blythe's clean vocals. They just give me the Chad Gray vibes. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, Overlord was a great song. I really like that one. Engage the Fear Machine is probably my favorite on the album, along with 512. So my favorite songs, Sturm on Drang, Lamb of God, are probably 512 and Engage the Fear Machine. And mentioning Engage the Fear Machine, it's definitely an underrated song. And yes, this album can be underrated, but I meant to say Engage the Fear Machine is a pretty underrated Lamb of God song, but that's just me. But yeah, still good album for what it is, and I do like this album better than I did before when I first heard it in full. But it's only coming in at number 6, but it still is a pretty good album for what it is. So yeah, number 6 is 7 Sturm und Drang by Lamb of God, since we're ranking their albums. Okay, number 5. Number 5 is going to be their newest album, the self-titled album. This is just the standard edition. I don't have the deluxe edition, but either way though, this is still a good album. No, it's not one of their best, but somehow it still managed to make my top 5 for Lamb of God. Since it's in at number 5, it kicks off the top 5 for my ranking. Some people would have it a little lower, maybe at like 7 or 6, somewhere around there, but I have it in my top 5. But yeah, you got songs like Memento Mori, Checkmate, which Checkmate, I wasn't too fond of that song when I first heard it back in 2020, but this song actually did grow on me over time, so definitely glad that it did, because it's a really good song. Reality Bath was a good song. It's not my favorite on the album by any means, but I still like that song. New Colossal Hate, awesome fucking song, I enjoy it. Routes featuring Chuck Billy of Testament, definitely a fucking banger. I just wish this song was longer, but either way though, it's still pretty good. So yeah, Lamb of God, self-titled album, in at number 5 for Lamb of God albums ranked. Now, the album I have in at number 4, as I was preparing for this ranking, guys, I was kind of debating if I wanted it near the top or near the bottom, but yeah, man, it's a good album, and I actually like it more now. So the album, and at number 4, is their album Resolution from 2012. Really good stuff here. Yes, this is the censored version of the album, and actually didn't really pay attention to it as I was buying it at the record store many months ago or whenever I got it. But yeah, still pretty good album here. No, it's not one of my favorites, but somehow I did manage to bring it up to my top 5 and at number 4 for this ranking. So yeah, Resolution, pretty good album here. Yes, it sounds more mainstream, but it's still good though for what it is. Desolation, awesome song. Ghost Walking, I really like that one. The number 6 is a really underrated song. One of my favorites on the album though for sure, it's really good. Insurrection was really good as well. The song Terminally Unique, I really enjoyed the riffs on that one. They were pretty different, but yeah, definitely awesome though. So yeah, Terminally Unique, great song. And the song King Me, another underrated song. So yeah, Resolution by Lamb of God, and at number 4. Definitely a good album though. And I'm glad that it did grow on me a little bit, because I was going to have it near the bottom. Okay, top 3 time now. Number 3, 2006 album Sacrament. Really good album here. Now, I was planning on having this at number 2, but I moved it down to number 3. Don't get me wrong, this is still a very, very strong album from Lamb of God. Definitely an album that does belong in the top 3 from any fan of the band Lamb of God. But yeah, you got songs like Walk With Me in Hell, Redneck, Foot to the Throat, Descending, Black and the Cursed Sun, Requiem, More Time to Kill, Beating on Death's Door. So yeah, definitely a fucking strong album from Lamb of God. And it kind of has the same style as the album Ashes of the Wake, but I do like Ashes of the Wake more, but we'll get to that album here in a bit. But, however, Sacrament, still a really good Lamb of God album. So, yeah, definitely makes my top 3 here. So, yeah, if you're a fan of, like, the groove metal sound, or even the, what's we call it, death metal, because I know some people would say Lamb of God has, like, death metal vibes with their music or styles or whatever, which you could definitely tell it though with Randy Blythe's vocals, because most of the time he has these growls. It's just awesome. But yeah, if you're like that kind of metal fan or whatever, then this album is right for you. So yeah, Sacrament, and at number 3 for Lamb of God albums ranked. Okay, number 2, As the Palaces Burn. Really good album here. I know some people would complain about the production of this album since it's that early 2000s production, but I don't care about that, because to me, the production on this album is flawless on every track. Got songs like Ruin, the title track As the Palaces Burn, Purified, 11th Hour, Devil in God's Country, In Defense of Her Good Name, Vigil, the closing track on As Palaces Burn has these really awesome thrashy riffs, and it's just awesome. Definitely great closer to this album. So yeah, man. Many people would complain about this album when it comes to the production, but me personally, I fucking love it. You gotta have this album in your top 3 if you're a true LOG fan, Lamb of God fan, since LOG stands for Lamb of God, of course. But yeah, As the Palaces Burn, definitely an awesome album from Lamb of God. So yeah, it comes in at number 2 in my ranking. The production isn't that bad, at least for me it isn't. Okay, and my number 1 Lamb of God album, of course, Ashes of the Wake. Like I said, with Sacrament, they both have the same style basically, but I think they done better with this album though, if you guys know what I mean. But if you like Sacrament more, then more power to you. I still like Sacrament, I just think they done better with this album. But Sacrament, still awesome. But Sacrament isn't number 1, Sacrament is number 3 for me, as y'all just learned a little bit ago. But that is still a great album. But yeah, we're following my number 1. So yeah, number 1, like I said, is 2004's album, Ashes of the Wake. Got songs like, of course, the big song, Laid to Rest. Another great song on this album would be the song Hourglass, Now You Got Something to Die For was awesome. Armada, really awesome song there. Break You, definitely an underrated song. Also like the song What I've Become, really awesome song as well. And you also got Remorse is for the Dead, which is a pretty good closing track. The title track, I'm not the biggest fan of the title track on this album because it's just mostly spoken word and instrumentals, but I don't think it's a bad title track at all. It's just not one of their best title tracks, but this is still a flawless album. Definitely my number 1 for Lamb of God. So yeah guys, that's going to complete my Lamb of God albums ranked video. Let me know how you guys would rank all of their albums, even if you include the Burn the Priest stuff, that's totally fine with me. I just don't include those albums in this ranking since they're not underneath the Lamb of God moniker, and plus 1 Burn the Priest album is not even actual material from the band, it's just a covers album. But you guys already understand how my rules work, hopefully, when it comes to these rankings. But yeah guys, thanks for watching Lamb of God albums ranked. I know some of my opinions were controversial, especially with New American Gospel, but hope you guys can respect my opinion on why I don't think New American Gospel is one of their best albums. It's not bad, it's just not one of their best for me. But yeah guys, I'm finally going to go ahead and end this. Thanks for tuning in. It's a pleasure to be able to do this for you guys on camera, because I normally do my rankings off camera, but I had time today to be on camera, so you guys know. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here though, since this ranking is officially over. So yeah, I'll see y'all next time. Peace.